Hey yo, welcome back to another meal, y'all. On the menu today, how to put a woman in her place and what it looks like. I have several experiences checking a woman after displaying bad behavior, and the key isn't to yell or call her names. Here's what you do. Let's eat. Say her name, fellas. When you talk to a woman who's misbehaving, you have to speak to her as if she's both a child and an adult, right? She's acting like a 13-year-old brat who didn't get her way. This is where the stern tone comes into play as well. No need to yell, but a slight inflection in your voice matched with a dead-ass expression will be sure to catch her off guard. And make sure you say her name so that way she knows you aren't joking. That stern delivery coupled with a calm message is an excellent way to check her in a respectful manner. For example, I had this young lady ride with me to the dispensary. We were going to go get some gas so we could smoke it up. She wanted so badly to come inside the shop with me. And me knowing her ass, I knew it wasn't a good idea because she would never want to leave, right? So on the way there, she tried to convince me to let her go in. I said, nah, go ahead and wait in the car and I'll be right back. And then she caught an attitude. And I said, listen, you aren't coming into the store with me, Kelly. Wait in the car and when I get back, we'll burn this blunt. Just like that. As I stepped out of the car, you can see a small smirk of pleasure on her face as she liked being put in her place. Whether or not it was a test really didn't matter. I stayed 10 toes down, I didn't fold, right? I stood my ground. And I told her that she wasn't coming in. And I didn't yell, I didn't call her an expletive or anything. I just had a stern tone and delivered the message calmly. And I said her name, letting her know that I'm in business. And it was understood. She was titillated by it. You need to respect yourself, and she needs to respect you, dog. If you're trying to put a woman in her place and she doesn't respect you on any level, you've already lost. She's gonna laugh in your face and disregard anything you have to say. And this means you've got some work to do, especially as a man. This means you need to do better overall as a person. Become respectful within yourself and let that authoritative nature bleed out of you when it's needed. Now on the flip side, if you are that man and she still doesn't respect you, you need to remove yourself. Remove yourself and exit any kind of relationship you have with this woman because she doesn't respect any man, like at all. Now going back to the former, ways to get her to respect you starts from within. You need to be a man of your word first and foremost. If you're gonna do something, you need to follow through with it. Your word means nothing to her if you can't keep it yourself. Also, have a backbone, sir. Don't fall for just anything. Speak up when you need to. Express any kind of opinions or contempt that you need that needs to be heard, so long as there's a valuable contribution to it. Also, increase your value. Do something others aren't willing to do and do it better, or at least to the best of your ability. Those are a few different ways you can gain more respect from people. And if she sees this respect, and if you're honest with yourself and take ownership, she will gladly follow in line when told to do so. The classic ignore her. This is one of my favorites. Fellas, we aren't putting up with quarrelsome behavior over here. Protect your peace at all costs. And if that means ignoring her and not entertaining her buffoonery, then so be it. We've talked about how a woman's weakness is her lack of receiving attention and untamed imagination, right? When a woman is misbehaving, one of the things you can do is immediately withdraw attention. Become dead silent and then indifferent. I would argue the best way of communication in this aspect is nonverbal. I'm talking about only facial expressions, no emotional outbursts, and walk away if you need to. Again, she knows what she did, and by your unresponsiveness, she will come to the conclusion that she was acting a fool. Now, sometimes they don't always come to this realization, and logic will have to be deployed after a while to get the point across. But for the most part, the silent treatment is a sure way for her to make her realize she needs to act right. And eventually, she'll do what it takes to get your attention back and have you recognize her again like you once did. And this is where you let her have it. Follow the first steps that we talked about. Stern voice, say her name, calm conclusion. Alright, fellas, you need to be a straight A student here. Pass her tests. She's gonna test you and you need to be ready. This will be done in a few different ways. Using sex against you, attempting to be distant, trying to do things on her schedule so she has full control and the upper hand. Nah, you need to notice these things and get ahead of them before it gets too far. Play the game better than she does, and don't show a sign of weakness when she's posing an exam. Stay 10 toes down. I always talk about this. Stay 10 toes down and be ready to combat whatever she's attempting to draw out of you. When you don't stop the disrespect in its footsteps, she's going to think that the behavior is okay to continue to do, right? And she's trying to take power away from you, boosting her ego. She needs to be checked immediately. So the masculine energy is both felt and established off rip, right? She wants to know that you aren't a pushover and you can handle yourself and anyone else that steps to you. That's really what these tests is about, I would argue. That's essentially why they're performing them. That's why it's always important to hold your frame at any given time. Alright, y'all, that's the serve for tonight's episode. Comment down below if you have a shared experience about putting a woman in her place. Like the video and subscribe to the channel. Catch y'all at the next meal. Peace.